Yo, 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 what's poppin', everyone? This is your boy, That's the King, back yet again with another episode. Another episode of, I always want to say King Talk TV, but this is not King Talk TV. But check out King Talk TV live this Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Follow me on my Instagram below if you want to check that out. But today is just a video that I wanted to put out on fear and how to overcome fear, how I've dealt with fear, and how fear has actually been like a real thorn in my side for forever. It seems like fear is the root of a lot of my issues and maybe a lot of your issues. Pretty much the root of just about every sin is fear, and I just want to talk about that and give my 2 cents on how to deal with it and how to overcome it. And again, this is your boy Dad's the King. If you like this content, please let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this, how you dealt with fear. Also, give me a like, and please consider subscribing as well. And let's just get into it for a couple of moments. I was inspired to do this video by a guy who I train with. Um, he's a white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we was just talking I think this was yesterday or the day before yesterday. We were talking about competing, and my team is actually in California right now competing at IBJJF, and he was telling me about how he was scared. He's scared to compete. Me, I competed twice already. I will be competing again, Lord willing, in Las Vegas coming up in September. And he was considering joining us out there in Vegas coming up too. But he was telling me how scared he was and how he really doesn't want. He wants to do it, but he's scared, and he thinks his fear is going to cause him to freak out in the heat of the moment or in the middle of the match. And I told him, that's okay. That's okay. I know in my first competition, to be honest, I don't remember being that scared or nervous or nothing. I was just kind of didn't know what to expect, and I went out there and I did pretty well. My second competition, however, as a blue belt, I did one as a white belt, just one. Got promoted to blue belt, and I did another one at blue belt. That one at blue belt, I was really, really nervous about. And I think it was just because I only had one at white belt, and I didn't really know like how I was going to fare up against blue belts at the next level. You know what I mean? Because the white belt competition was so hard. It was hard. I mean, I did well, but it was, man, those guys were tough. And I'm already 6 months. I think 6 months after that competition, I got my blue belt, and I was like, yo, I'm already at the next level of competition. This is going to be crazy. But I ended up winning gold medal, first place in gi at the Naga competition. And of course I was scared going into it, but you just got to do it anyway. You got to do it anyway. That's what I told him. I was like, he was telling me about how he has a huge fear of needles, and I don't know too many people who like needles other than people who like get tattooed. Well, people don't like shots. There's not many people who like shots, and I guess he has a fear of needles, and he has a fear of shots too. And he would have to have people come in with him to get a shot. He's a grown man. He's a grown man. And he has to have someone assist him with that. But I told him, man, the bottom line is, even though you are afraid of shots, even though you are afraid of needles, even though you are afraid of competition, going back to the shots, you still got it done. Maybe you needed some help. Maybe you needed some assistance. Maybe you needed some support. But you still went in there and you got it done, even though you were feeling the way you felt, even though you were scared. So the whole point is that you, even when you having these feelings, you have to go do it anyway. You have to push through the fear, because the fear is probably going to be there. You know what I mean? Fear is always going to be around. And you're always going to be in a situation that you've never been in before. You're going to be in, you're going to go places you've never been, speak to people you never spoke to before. You may have to, out of the blue, stand up and speak in front of 100 people. I mean, you just never know. Now, I personally have no problem speaking in front of people, but it can be a scary thing. I guess in my head, I got over. I accepted the fact that I'm going to be nervous and that I may stumble over my words. There's so many things I may trip and fall. There's so many things that could happen. And I accepted the fact that these things can happen, but it doesn't mean it will happen, and it doesn't mean that people are actually looking for you to make a mistake anyway. I spoke in front of a lot of people, and I'll think to myself, man, was that really good? How did I sound? People always say, well, most of the time would say, I did a great job, or I did way better than I thought I did, So with fear, man, you just have to overcome and do it anyway, and don't let it stop you. You can't let it stop you, especially in competition. Competition, I saw a meme or a picture the other day. I may find it and post it somewhere on here. But competition has never made anyone worse. Competition is going to make you better, regardless if you lose, if you win. If you don't get hurt, you're going to get better. You're going to learn from that experience. And in my opinion, that carries over in real life. You just went out there and you battled, wrestled around with other grown men who train just like you do, who work as hard, almost as hard as you. Maybe not as hard, we don't know, but they train. They have your belt rank, blue belt, white belt, whatever. And you went out there and you held your own against them, man. That is a win. That is already a win. You doing what you're doing right now is a win. You know what I mean? And that's what I told him. And you're only going to get better. You're only going to get better after every competition. I've only been in 2, but in after those 2 competitions, I saw extreme growth in my game and in my maturity as a person. Just putting yourself in uncomfortable positions like that, it makes you better. It makes you better. It just overall helps you. You got to put yourself in those positions that you don't want to be in if you're trying to develop as a person, if you're trying to develop as a man. You have to put yourself out there and take those risks. I want to give a biblical reference. I just read the book of Genesis. And I think I did a video on that. I believe that in the description below. But now I'm reading Exodus. And I think in Exodus chapter 4, chapter 5, God is trying to get Moses to go to Egypt and free the Hebrews under the Egyptian rule or whatever. And God is telling Moses to do these things. He's giving Moses these instructions. And Moses is just pushing back at God, like every single thing that God threw at Moses, do this and do that, and this was going to happen. Moses said, oh, but I got a speech impediment. Okay, do this and do that and do that. Oh, the people will never listen to me. Just do this and do this and do that. Oh, but God. And I think there's a line in there where God says, it says that God got angry. He got angry at Moses for what he was saying, But even then, God had patience because he kept going. But it said that God was kind of ticked off that Moses kept pushing back. But ultimately Moses did what God asked him to do. I can imagine. I try to put myself in Moses' shoes. He just killed a man not too long ago, and there are people out there trying to kill him. The Egyptians were trying to kill him, and you're asking this man to go back with just a rod in his hands and go up to the king of the whole country and demand to let these people go. That's a tall task, to say the least. And I try to put myself in his shoes. Like, yeah, I would be really, really scared to do that. I would be really, really nervous about that. I would be really, probably not wanting to do that. And I probably would have been doing the same thing Moses done, trying to give God every excuse in the book as to why I'm not capable, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not able to do this task, God. Why are you asking me to do this? But Moses did it anyway. He went in there. He had support. Going back to my man being scared of shots. He had to have support there to help him to get the shot, to get over that. So God gave Moses support. He gave him Aaron. He gave him backup, tangible person backup to help him with that. And that seemed like that was all Moses needed, was that. And he went out there and carried out the mission and did it. He went out there and led us. I'm not finished with the story yet, but most of us know it. He went out there and led them through the Red Sea and led those people out of there, man. Mission accomplished on that end of the spectrum. But he didn't have to do it. Moses didn't have to say yes to God. He could have just kept saying no. And I think God would have just been like, okay, God would have found someone else who would have done it if Moses wouldn't comply to God. But imagine, man, if Moses would have said no, like he wouldn't be known in history as who he is. He would have gave up a lot of his I guess, legacy and respect. Moses is one of the main figures of the Bible, of history itself. So he would have gave all that up if he would have just, kept going, pushing back against God. Because like I said, I believe God would have just been like, okay, I'll find someone else. I'll raise someone else up to carry out this task since you're too scared to do it. But to Moses' credit, he did it. And now the rest is history. So the same with us, man. The same with us. Because we're going to feel scared. The enemy is going to put doubt. He's going to put fear. He's going to try to discourage you. Not even the enemy, your own flesh, your own mind is going to try to talk you out of doing things that could potentially hurt you or potentially make you uncomfortable or things that you don't like. Your mind is going to do that. I was just reading something online before I went on here, and it's not something that I necessarily want to read. I'm reading it because I want to build a skill, you understand? And I don't really want to do it. It's not really interesting for me to want to sit here and read what I'm reading. And my mind knows that. So there's these voices that tell me to do other things. Check your phone. Go use the bathroom. What about this other website? Check your phone again. Don't you got a message? Don't you got a notification? Oh, aren't you thirsty? Go get some water. Like all types of random thoughts coming through my head that you gotta just navigate through and focus and dial in, man, and dial in. And I believe that is analogous with dealing with fear. You have to just navigate through it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil. And you can repeat that to yourself 100 times till it gets in your head and you just say, I shall fear no evil. And just keep to walk through the valley. Think about that. Picture walking through a dark valley. It's dark, it's cold, it's raining. You hear things in the thickets over here. You hear animals, wolves, coyotes. You hear all types of stuff. They could be people watching you from the tops of the hills or whatever. You don't know. It's a dark, cold valley. But God, but it says, Psalms 23, yea, though I walk through this valley, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Let the word of God comfort you and encourage you. And God will never leave or forsake you, man. He is there always. He will always preserve those that love him. Always. So we have to just hold to that promise and keep taking these risks, man. Not foolish risks, not doing calculated risks. You know what I mean? Not anything just out the blue, you know. Consult to God, plan, and then go out there and execute on it. You know, just go out there and expect fear to try to come in your head and get you to talk you out of things or not do things or act kind of sporadically in the moment of what you're trying to do. Understand that that attack is going to happen, but also understand that you have the power to overcome that. The power is in you to overcome that. And that's what's going to help you, man. That's what's going to get you through. That's what's going to get you through. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that, guys. Coming from a person who still deals with fear, I also believe that, you know, procrastination is a byproduct of fear as well. We don't know what's going to happen, so we were scared about the results of what our projects or whatever. So we push it off, you know what I mean? Because we don't, the fear of the unknown, we don't know what's going to happen. So I've been dealing with a lot of that myself, man. So this video isn't just for you, it's for me. And but I hope it helps, you know, both of us. I hope it helps us to be aware of the attacks of the enemy and put on our spiritual shields to be able to still go through and still strive and accomplish what we've been set out to accomplish, like Moses. Moses went out there and accomplished what he was set out to do. So we should be like that when God gives us a mission. Yeah, we may question, we may have some concern, but ultimately, man, let us just go out there and do it, man, because we don't know what's going to be the output of that. The output of Moses trusting in God was that he, you know, he's one of the best men in history, will forever be known throughout history, Moses. And who knows, man, God has something similar for you if you just listen, ignore the fear, and just keep pressing forward. But yeah, man, this is your boy, Des the King. If you like this, please give me a like and subscribe. Comment below your thoughts. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram. I do have a live coming up, King Talk TV podcast, coming in on Instagram, on my Instagram channel. It's going to be 8:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So check that out live and join in on the discussion. It's going to be a great show. I have a guest coming on. And yeah, that's going to be great as well. Friend me on Facebook. And if you feel like you want to donate to the cause of my, you know, to support me and my channel, I have some links below for that as well. But God bless you all. Hope you all have a good day and a good night. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.